Hey, hi guys. I got my headphones in and I am ready to go. This is a live lesson brought to you from the Facebook group IELTS for All. My name is Ben. I am the instructor, and soon we will meet our students. If this is your first time on this channel or on this Facebook group or what have you, the live lessons like the one that you're seeing right now are available on the Facebook group IELTS for All. Okay, and that's right up there. Just go to Facebook and search for it. I do have video courses and one-to-one lessons available over at IELTSLessonsForYou.com. And the lesson archives are available down at that Google site down there. Now, I actually do have an app for this group, and you can find all three of those things through the app, and the app is called IELTS for All. Now, the goal today is to just get as much speaking practice for our students as we can. I'm setting myself a firm time limit. We will go for another 37 minutes, so I'm hoping to get as many done as possible.
Hello.
Hey, hey. All right.
Hey.
I think that should work. Okay, so let's try that again. Your first question,
Yeah.
what types of people become famous in your country?
It depends upon the profession, I would say. Basically, film actors, politicians, and singers.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. When we talk about the film industry, most of the people get famous within time, and well, the people who most we are talking about is the actors who act as heroes in films. And apart from that, the heroines also become more famous when compared to the heroes. Apart from these two people, the music directors, the singers, who are is concerned with the same industry get famous in within a period of time when a film gets hit when it is on the theaters. Apart from this industry, when we consider politicians, their way of handling crisis in the country also makes them famous, and they become celebrities too. So I think these two will have more space in celebrity section.
Okay, and do you think it's important for celebrities to be talented in order to become famous?
I guess yeah, they should be talented, but this is not the real case because I can witness a lot of people without enough talent are becoming celebrity all of a sudden when a particular song, example, a particular song becomes hit, so he is a celebrity from nowhere, and so I think talent should be a part of celebrity when he becomes and reaches that position.
I see. Okay, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of becoming famous?
There are a lot of advantages of becoming famous because the first part is you are on the top of the community, and everybody can know about you, and it helps you to build your name on the society so that you can in the latter part of your life become a politician if you wish, and these are the positive signs. And if we consider about the negative parts, we cannot a particular person cannot live a normal life because wherever he goes to the public places, he got recognized by people, and I think there is less privacy. And whenever he commits any small mistakes or whatever, I mean, even if you go for shopping, it is on the news. So I think the privacy part is lacking in the celebrities' life.
Very good. Okay. Sorry to hang up on you so so quickly, but I want to be able to make sure everybody can focus on my kind of feedback there. Um, some really, really nice speaking there and some really good ideas. I'm going to increase the size here a little bit, and I'm also going to number these just so that you can see them more clearly. Really good ideas, especially for that last question, which can be a little bit difficult, advantages and disadvantages. Did you guys notice the first question that I asked, he answered quite in a quite short way. For part one, you can get away with that. But for part three, you need to expand those ideas. And I could see in the second question and the third question that I asked, that speaker has the ability to expand their ideas. You just have to make sure you do it every time. Okay? Now, a couple of individual errors. There's some that I want to fix myself, and then there's a couple that I'm going to ask all of you viewers to help me with. Get famous within time. I think later you'd fix this and said within a period of time. But get famous, I think over time would be a good substitute as well. Okay? And let's see, build their name. In this case, we might want within the society. Build their name within the society. But I like that build their name or build their reputation. I'm going to add that word as well. And if we consider about the negative parts, for number 2 and number 4, I'm going to see if our viewers can help me fix these. What do you guys think? Anybody got an idea? How can we fix these? Anybody know? Number 2 or number 4? Any comments? What's the problem here? I know some of you guys must know. 6 people watching. Somebody's got to have the answer. No, I don't see any comments. Maybe they're coming in a moment here. But number 2, we should change to because. Okay, because of should be followed by a noun, right? Because followed by subject and verb. Because I can witness is right. And then if we consider should not have any preposition. Okay, consider something. If we consider the negative parts. This is probably confused because of the word think. Think about the negative parts. Consider the negative parts. All right. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next speaker, shall we? Hello, are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
Excellent.
I'm here.
Your voice is very clear. That's great. All right, so I have a few part 3 questions for you, all right?
Sure.
Okay. These days, people from different generations often live together. Do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing?
That must be a hard question that I've ever heard. If you just give me a moment here,
Sure.
I would have rather think a moment. Well, that depends, I may say. The generations lately, or should I say nowadays, young generations tends to have their own choices. I must say, basing on my experience, they live tend to live in a small group, and wow, I just lost the question in my head. What was this, sir? Come again?
So these days, people from different generations, older people and younger people, are often living together in the same house. Do you think it's good for older people and younger people to live in the same environment?
If I would say my opinion, I think that would be beneficial. One is that older persons might exchange ideas or through experience would give or let the young generation gain idea as well. For example, older persons who've been through a lot of like problem-solving situations, a young guy learning from him would take some idea. What I'm trying to say is, a young people learns more a lot from an adult or older adult.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Let's move on to the next question. Do young adults in your country like to communicate with older people?
Um, Again, that questions I really haven't thought much. But if I might say, if I might say yes, it's because the generations aren't too more of a gadget like Facebook. Let's say young people's own intention is to have chit chat or uh, dive into a same age group.
Hmm.
But yes, there are instances where, let's say, a scholar, yeah, specifically scholar, their intention is to just to gain more knowledge, and that's through mingling to other group like an adult, let's say. So
Okay.
the only thing, yes,
Yeah, let me move on to the last question here, which is maybe a little bit easier one. Do you think that family relationships are important?
uh, I didn't get you there, sir. Would
Ah,
you kindly repeat the question?
sure. Do you think that family relationships are important?
Yes, uh, it is very important actually. This is where sort of a support group, something to get. It's like the resource persons that would give them a help. Let's say, for example, when I'm in situations where I need money, what's the simplest, I think, most common thing that and everyone needs money. Well, you can run to them and ask for it. And not only that, maybe let's say advices where an individual into a hard situations, they can go and ask for it without problem in approaching, and that individual also is readily able to help you. In a sense, I mean, you have already established relationship,
Very good. Okay.
and
Nice job. All right, I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to go ahead and hang up the phone, and I'll give you your feedback just through kind of the Facebook there. Um, but thank you very much for participating, and I could tell like a little bit of nervousness right there with that speaker, and that's so common for the IELTS. And by the way, everybody who is speaking with us, we should really give our thanks because it it takes a lot of guts, a lot of bravery to speak in front of who knows how many people will be watching this video at some point. So, um, thanks for everybody for that, and a little bit of nervousness is expected and totally fine. Good way to practice, though, I think. Speak in front of a group in the actual IELTS exam. You don't want that kind of nervous feeling just from speaking in front of others, right? Now, number 5, I want to talk about some ways to stall for ideas. That first question, I'm actually going to copy the question and put it in here because it's not an easy question. It was quite difficult, and our speaker had a little trouble with it. Okay, here was the question. These days, people from different generations live together. Do you think this is a problem? Um, Now, the speaker obviously had never thought about this before and maybe didn't really understand the question perfectly. So, first of all, if you don't understand the question perfectly, there's no punishment for asking again. And in many cases, the examiner will rephrase the question in a way that's a little easier to understand. There is no punishment for that. Okay, so don't be afraid to ask again. All right. If you ask 3 or 4 times, yeah, then the examiner will just move to the next question. But asking once, no punishment. Don't worry about it. Okay. And when you need a little time to think about your answer, you need to develop some strategies here. And this is something that I kind of go over in my speaking course that I'm getting ready to release for you guys. And Anytime I do one-to-one lessons, we always talk about ways to stall. I would say the easiest way for you would be to give an example, a real world example. Okay? Not like some people or sometimes, no, like a real example. In this case, um, if you live with your grandparents, perfect. Start by explaining your own situation and why this topic is connected to you. While you're doing that, your brain is kind of working through your ideas, generating some opinions. So when you're finished explaining your sort of personal situation, then you're ready to start. So, for example, if I were asked this question, these days people from different generations live together, do you think this is a problem? The way that I would approach it is something like this. That's an interesting question. And actually, I know a little bit about this because my grandmother lived with my parents for a while. So my father told me all about the advantages and disadvantages of that situation. I think overall it can cause a lot of problems. The way that I see the problems coming about is differences in value systems. My grandmother had put a lot of value on saving money, efficiency, living a very simple lifestyle, whereas my parents, they're trying to succeed and they're trying to enjoy their lives. So they're not worried about the same things that my grandmother's worried about. That causes a lot of conflict in the household and a lot of tension and anxiety. So I think in general, if it's convenient and possible for generations to live with other people of their own generation, that's actually can create a more peaceful living environment, at least. Something like that. But you notice the way that I took my own example as the starting point and then expanded out from there. That's the way, if you don't have any ideas, use your own. If you don't have an idea, or sorry, if you don't live with your grandparents, think about your friends. Think about other people around you that might have a similar experience. It's just a way to get some ideas. Um, let's see, a couple phrases that would help you in that answer. Give some advice, get some advice. A mentor. Okay, a mentor can be a person. It can also be a verb. Okay, to mentor someone. Okay, so an older person can often be a mentor for a younger person. Right? And provide financial support. You were kind of struggling with explaining that situation. Phew! Okay, we are ready for our next speaker. Okay, great. So let's try it. The first question is this. What are the... one more time. The first question. What are the most important qualities in a good teacher?
I think one important quality of a good teacher would be um, a good teacher should be observant. You should be able to observe your students, you know their strengths, you know their weaknesses, so that you'll be in better position to help them according to their strengths. And then if there is any weakness, you know how to help them to overcome those weaknesses. Another quality I think should also be patience, I should say, and the ability to read your students. If you lack patience, it will be very difficult for you to teach them because everybody has different, should I say, rates of learning. Some students can catch on very fast. Some are also quite slow. So you need to be able to get all your students to be on the same level when it comes to them understanding what you are teaching them. And I believe those two qualities are very important for every teacher to
I
have.
see. Okay. And in your country, are teachers very respected by the society in general?
Unfortunately, I think that it's it depends on your level of teacher. Where I come from, which is Ghana, the lower teachers, the lower level teachers, I should say, from class one, that's the primary school, through to junior high, through to senior high. Usually, people really do not they don't give them the much respect. That's the way I see it. But when you go to the universities, yes, the lecturers, people tend to respect them more. I think it's all because of the disparity in the salary level. Because those are the those who teach the junior students, the remuneration isn't that much. But those who teach at the university level, their salary tend to be a bit on the higher side. And unfortunately, it affects their standard of living. And where I come from, the standard of living usually um, will sort of control how people see you, and automatically it translates to the respect that is given to you. So that's how it works here.
Okay, very good. I think I'm going to stop you there. Actually, that was quite a bit of speech. I think I've got some feedback for you. So I'm going to go ahead and hang up here. But thank you very much for participating. And yeah, the audio there was a little bit choppy. I don't know if you could tell there. Typically, I do not use Skype. There's a different program that I like to use for all of my one-to-one lessons. A lot more reliable network. Also, I think me broadcasting this lesson is taking a lot of my internet bandwidth. So you might hear a little bit choppy audio, but I rarely have problems with any of my private students. Two pieces of feedback that I would say. You tend to start your answers by talking about the third person, they, teachers, people. Okay, you're talking about not me, not you, but a third person or a third group of people. Okay, but as you speak, you tend to drift into second person, which is you, right? So at first, the first question I asked, what are the most important qualities in a good teacher? And you said, well, a good teacher should be da da da. A good teacher should have blah blah blah. But then you started to drift and say, you should be patient. You should do this. You should do that. A lot of your vocabulary choices, your fluency, your pronunciation is quite at a high level. This kind of shift is quite noticeable because there's not that many grammar mistakes to really notice. So the examiner is going to be focusing on whatever problem they can. This might seem like a small thing, but for me it was very noticeable, that tense shift. Try to keep it third person. You has a little bit too casual a feeling to it. Okay? And then number 10, I should say, there's actually a different word for this. Okay? We'd say I would say. Okay, I would say. That sounds very natural when you use this phrase, but when you say I should say, it sounds a little strange. A little bit, yeah, just a little unnatural, I guess. All right, you guys. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming. I'm getting kind of exhausted, so I'm going to call the lesson here. But if you want to participate in next week's speaking session, just add me on Skype. I've posted a couple times just about 10 minutes ago on the group. I posted my Skype ID. It's in the initial post for this video. Or just send me a text message through Facebook and ask me for it. And I'm happy to connect with you by Skype. That's all I've got for you guys. Tomorrow we've got another lesson a little bit earlier, so just check IELTS for All to find information about that. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye-bye.